You wake before sunrise, the air is cold. The ground beneath your feet is damp. Somewhere beyond the trees, something growls. It isn't imagination, it isn't a story. For almost all of human history, the world belonged to predators, not people. Lions, saber-toothed cats, giant hyenas, wolves, crocodiles, and massive birds of prey all saw your ancestors as potential food. Today, danger usually arrives as a notification on a screen. Back then, danger breathed, and it watched. Would your modern instincts keep you alive for even a single night? Here's the thing. Ancient humans were not the fastest animals. They weren't the strongest. They didn't have claws, thick fur, or enormous teeth. Compared to the predators around them, they were slower, weaker, and far less intimidating. Yet somehow, humans survived. Not only survived, they eventually became the most dangerous predator the planet had ever seen. How? The answer begins with fear. Your ancestors were afraid every single day. Fear wasn't weakness, it was information. Every strange footprint, every snapped branch, every flock of birds suddenly taking flight could signal that something enormous was nearby. That constant awareness shaped the human brain you still carry today. Ever wondered why sudden noises instantly grab your attention? Part of that reaction may be millions of years old. Scientists believe early humans evolved exceptional pattern recognition because missing a single warning sign could mean death. Evolution favored brains that noticed tiny changes in the environment before predators appeared. Now, fair question. What kinds of predators were they facing? In Africa, early members of the human family lived alongside lions, leopards, giant hyenas, crocodiles, and packs of wild dogs. Fossil evidence even shows tooth marks from large carnivores on ancient human remains, suggesting that humans were sometimes prey rather than hunters. Researchers studying sites such as Olduvai Gorge and Kubi Fora have found evidence that early humans shared landscapes with these formidable predators. The archaeological record paints a picture of constant competition for food and survival. Imagine walking through tall grass where visibility stretches only a few feet. Every shadow matters, every silence matters, every smell matters. Would you step forward or freeze? Your ancestors learned that surviving often depended on noticing danger before danger noticed them. But observation alone wasn't enough. Humans developed something unusual: cooperation. Unlike many predators that hunted within family groups, humans created flexible social networks. Anthropologist Richard Lee, through his work with the Zhu-Huansi people of southern Africa, documented how cooperation dramatically increases survival. Food, information, childcare, and protection were shared across entire communities. The lesson reaches far back into prehistory. One person watching is useful. 10 people watching in different directions are far better. Predators prefer isolated victims. Groups change the equation. Think about a leopard stalking through bushes. A lone traveler is an easy target. A circle of alert adults carrying sticks, shouting together, and protecting children presents a completely different challenge. The predator must calculate risk, and sometimes the predator walks away. But the real weapon wasn't muscle, it was communication. Your ancestors pointed, they warned, they remembered. Language, even in its earliest forms, may have allowed groups to describe danger that wasn't immediately visible. A lion near the river yesterday, fresh tracks near the cave this morning, strange calls heard after sunset. Knowledge became survival. Knowledge traveled faster than teeth. Here's another surprise. Humans also borrowed the strengths of other animals. Birds suddenly flying upward, monkeys making alarm calls, antelopes staring toward unseen movement. These became part of an ancient warning system. Modern hunter-gatherer groups still pay close attention to animal behavior because other species often detect predators first. The forest itself became an ally. Would you notice these signs, or would your eyes remain fixed on a phone screen that doesn't exist? Now imagine night falling. Darkness changes everything. Many large predators hunt best after sunset. Vision becomes limited. Movement slows. Fear grows. This is where one of humanity's greatest advantages entered the story: fire. Evidence from sites like Wonderwork Cave in South Africa suggests that humans controlled fire hundreds of thousands of years ago. While archaeologists continue debating exactly when regular fire use became widespread, there is strong evidence that controlled fire dramatically changed human life. Fire produced warmth, fire cooked food, but perhaps just as importantly, fire pushed back the darkness. Many predators naturally avoid flames and unpredictable light. A campfire did not make people invincible, but it created a protective zone where eyes could remain alert while dangerous animals hesitated. Imagine hearing distant growls beyond the edge of the firelight. The flames crackle, smoke rises, children sleep close together. Adults remain awake in shifts. Nobody relaxes completely. No schedule, no alarm clock, no locked door, only vigilance. Anthropologist James Sussman has written about how hunter-gatherer societies organize their lives around cooperation rather than constant individual competition. Shared responsibilities likely made nighttime survival far more effective than any single person standing guard alone. Still, predators adapted too. Lions learned routines. Hyenas watched camps. Crocodiles waited at river crossings. Nature was never a one-sided contest. Your ancestors couldn't simply avoid danger forever. Eventually, they developed another remarkable strategy: tools. At first, simple wooden spears, then sharpened stone points. Eventually, carefully crafted throwing weapons. Archaeological discoveries from sites such as Schöningen in Germany revealed remarkably preserved wooden spears dating back hundreds of thousands of years. These were not crude sticks. They were balanced, shaped, and designed for effective hunting and likely defense. Think about what that means. For the first time, distance became a weapon. Instead of fighting claws with bare hands, humans could strike before direct contact. A small advantage. Repeated thousands of times, across thousands of generations, those advantages accumulated. Would courage alone have defeated a lion? Probably not. Planning could. Groups positioned themselves carefully. Escape routes were remembered. Trees became lookout towers. Rocky cliffs became natural fortresses. Caves offered temporary shelter, though sometimes they were already occupied by bears or large cats. Even choosing where to sleep became a life or death decision. Here's the thing about intelligence: it isn't just solving problems, it's avoiding them. Your ancestors often survived because they recognized when not to fight. Running away wasn't failure, it was strategy. Many dangerous encounters ended before they began, simply because humans changed direction after discovering fresh tracks or hearing warning calls. This ability to imagine future danger may have become one of humanity's greatest evolutionary strengths. Researchers like Polly Wiesner have shown how information sharing among hunter-gatherers strengthens survival across entire communities. Stories around evening fires were not merely entertainment, they were memory, they were education, they were maps of invisible danger. The river where the crocodile waits, the valley where lions hunt, the season when food disappears. Every story carried practical knowledge. Every generation inherited lessons written not in books, but in experience. Now, think about children. Modern childhood often happens inside secure homes. Ancient childhood unfolded beneath open skies. Young humans learned predator awareness almost from the moment they could walk. Which tracks belong to wolves? Which snakes hide beneath rocks? When should you climb? When should you stay perfectly still? These lessons became instinct through repetition. Danger was the classroom. Nature was the teacher. Even human eyesight may have played a role. Humans possess excellent long-distance vision during daylight compared with many predators. combined with upright posture, standing on two legs, allowed your ancestors to see over tall grasses more effectively than many four-legged animals. A few extra seconds of warning could mean everything. Those seconds became generations. Those generations became civilization. Eventually, humans crossed continents. Predators that once hunted people slowly became the hunted instead. Not because humans suddenly grew stronger, because humans became better at thinking together, better at remembering, better at adapting. The greatest weapon your ancestors ever carried was never a spear. It was a shared mind. Thousands of individual brains connected through trust, language, teaching, and cooperation became something no predator had ever encountered before. That legacy still exists inside you. Every instinct to notice movement in the corner of your eye, every uneasy feeling while walking alone at night, every urge to gather with others during uncertainty, these are echoes of a world where survival depended on paying attention. You wake before sunrise. Only now, the sound that greets you is usually an alarm clock instead of a distant roar. The predators outside your window are mostly gone, replaced by deadlines, crowded highways, glowing screens, and endless schedules. Your ancestors feared teeth in the darkness. Modern life often asks you to fear invisible pressures instead. Constant productivity, endless comparison, and the quiet belief that there is never enough time. Perhaps the greatest irony is that the human brain evolved to survive lions, yet now spends its days trapped in offices, chasing notifications instead of horizons. The wilderness disappeared, but the instincts remained. And somewhere deep inside, your ancient mind still wonders whether freedom was never about defeating predators at all, but about living in a world where every sunrise belonged to you.